this is legit butcher block. A roll. Made it from Amazon. While I'm using it to prep my meat. It's also good for the low country boil. Sorry. And then also for like table mats or placemats for kids and crayons. That's like one of my favorite little side hacks. So I'm doing here is I'm gonna prep this, and then once I do that, I forgot to grab paper towels. We'll get the meat out, and we'll pat it dry. Then I'll do a rub, and then what I like to call is the stamping. So anyhow, rub back. All right. Should have everything needed. That might be too small. That's better. Brown sugar, salt, let's go ahead and pull out the meat. All right. Trying to see if I can write somewhere where y'all can see or read, maybe. Alright, so I got some pork, also known as a shoulder, end bone, or picnic. I forgot to look. I'm gonna still say it's 5 pounds. I think it might be a little bit more than that. I do have a skin, which I actually have never smoked anyway, so I'm actually gonna pull that off or cut it off. And then, so typically, a general thumb that I like to use is basically per pound, you need about 30 minutes, so plus or minus per pound. Now I think about this might be a lot more than 5, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not in a rush for temperature. So, on that note, when I'm cooking this, I got a couple targets. So I call 145 degrees I call that safe. Generally, if that's like an internal temperature, like you should be able to eat it and not be overly concerned about, it making you sick. Then 160 I call in the clear, which when I say in the clear, that usually means that I'm safe and that when I pull it off, I know that it's going to continue to cook to some extent. Now, there's an art to the science to that, but you have to assume when you're doing especially meat like this that it's going to continue to cook afterwards, and you kind of want it to. So that's usually, you should expect about plus or minus 10 degrees. I'm just going to say post pull. Right, and then now where we'll likely pull it off is either going to be 170 or 190, knowing that it applies to these. This temperature is more for slices, and then 190 is more for pulling. So just kind of recap, I got pork, shoulder, end bone, picnic. Those are kind of common terms that if you said those, eventually someone will know what you're talking about. I think it's, it might be, well it's between 5 and 10. And it has a skin on there. And the general rule of thumb is about 30 minutes plus or minus per pound. And then for like cooking temperatures or milestones are 145 for safe. Meaning that like if you ate it, it should not make you sick. And then in the clear is basically, hey, when I pull this off, not only should it be safe, but it should be kind of sound in terms of how I eat it. But anything beyond that, that's kind of where the art to the science comes into how you get to your so-called finish line. And with that, there should be a note made that like when you pull it off, you should anticipate, if you know, depending on how you handle it, it's going to continue to cook for like 10 more degrees. But there's ways to increase or change or drag out. I mean, that's kind of like the art to the science. And then if you're looking for more like, you know, like slices, if you will, that's like about 170 degrees is generally what I found. A good pull off temperature is on or around. And then, you know, if you're looking for more pulled pork is about 190. So with that real quick, I'm going to go grab a knife. We're going to cut this skin off, and I'm going to do that separately. I actually have never done anything with the skin like this on a smoker, so it'll be interesting. And then we're going to start the smoker, and then we're going to rub, or we're going to pat dry, rub, and then what I like to call is a stamp. So stay tuned. Be right back in a minute. We'll do that. All right, and we're back. So let's get this skin off. Should have got a different knife. Actually, I'm going to. Well, what I'll do is we're going to start this smoker. This is a Pit Boss one I got from Walmart. Big fan of it. On that comes with an internal thermometer probe. Recommend putting it in before you start it up. If you don't, it's not a huge deal, but it's easier to do it before it gets hot. Alright, so I'm going to start it up. Already got chips in here. Alright, so this one I'm at the prime. While that warms up, you got another knife. Starting to get a little bit of smoke. Okay, we're just making some smoke on there. Put this back on. Right, so what I have this at is 400 because I like to sear this as much as possible. And for those of you who are interested, I just brine this in white sugar and salt and pepper. Yeah, Bella, that's for you. Usually just kind of grab it up here. It shows you where to cut because I don't want to take off too much of the unnecessary meat, right? There's any tattoo artists out there? This will fit. Just pull this to the side. if you're tuning in and watching this after the fact, let's kind of recap what I got here. So I got pork, shoulder, in-bone, picnic, bum line, pork cut. It's roughly probably about 5 pounds. I don't think it's more than 10. I forgot what it said. Typically when you're cooking this stuff, the good rule of thumb is it takes about 30 minutes plus or minus for each pound. The way I kind of look at temperatures, I call the first temperature is my safe temperature, is basically like, hey, if it's this, it should be safe to eat. The next one I'm going for with this one is 160, which is, hey, if I pull this off at 160, I'm in the clear, which means I'm safe, and then it's kind of edible. So they'll call it the science part. The art to that is anything beyond 160, which is like where you're going to go to, where you want the meat cut. So it has the effect you want for ultimately what you're trying to consume or share with others. So once you hit the safe, you're in the clear, and you choose to pull it off, keep in mind that usually meat's going to continue to cook for about another 10 degrees, plus or minus, depending on what you do when you pull it off. With this, typically if you're pulling it off around like 170 internal temperature, the meat's still going to be kind of okay in terms of like cutting for slices, so it's going to be more kind of put together. Or the longer and slower you cook it, let's say up to like 190, then you're looking for more like shredded pulled pork. So let's get some more butcher block up here. You get these rolls from Amazon for like 20 bucks. And then I'm going to do what I like to refer to as my rub. And then ultimately what I do is I kind of end with a stamp. More importantly. So this is just going to be brown sugar, salt, and pepper. There's some other stuff I do, but this is traditionally, this is my base. So that I kind of eyeball it. So rub that. Alright, so the smoker is already at 365, so I'm pushing to 140 right now. Some pepper on there. Make sure you get your sides. I'll really rub and massage it into that meat. Alright, so when I say stamp, I'm literally stamping it. And I found this gives it kind of like, I'm going to compare it to a honey baked ham you buy from the store, but the stamp or pat, it kind of gives it that exoskeleton or whatever it is. So, to the extent, it almost kind of cocoons it because it's sugar is going to melt and harden. So I mean, that looks pretty damn good already, right? And then just, I'm going to experiment on this. I'm only going to do one side, which is kind of like the non-skin side. Like so. I think that's going to be really good now. It's a really nice coffee. What do you think? And this is actually, it's gonna be a little coloring right there, and I'm okay with that. But I'll put this on the side. You gotta be kind of conscious of not getting fires. So, it's good stuff though. Alright, so I dropped my target down to 250. I'm over 400 degrees, so this is going to give it a nice solid kind of like shock, if you will. So we got that there. Just to kind of recap what we did. So we got pork shoulder, in-bone picnic, pork cut. It's about 5 pounds, maybe up to 10. Good rule of thumb, you can cook anything like this, depending on the temperature, it's about 30 minutes per pound. To cook it or to eat the meat, to consume it, to be safe, is really no less than 145 degrees Fahrenheit. From safe to what I call is clear is about 160. These are all internal temps, and so that's what I kind of call the science part. And then from that, when you pull it off, you should anticipate the meat to cook about another 10 degrees internal temp, depending on how, if you put it in your oven or wrap it or leave it open. Or if you do something silly like put it in the fridge, like you should still assume it's going to cook a little bit more. And then going beyond that, this is where like the real art of the science comes in. So for about 170 degrees ish is about what you want for your nice cut slices. So like the integrity of the meat's still intact enough. And then otherwise, if you're pushing up towards like 190, you're getting more of a pulled pork kind of style. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and throw this on and get the thermometer in there and let the magic happen. Now I will put a little bit of water in here. One, not to worry about drying out, but I don't want it to like cook to the bottom. So move y'all up. Trying to make it so you can see the temperature too. There we go. So my internal temp is not in yet. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick. And bring it back up a little bit more. So I opened it up. And then I'm going to prime it and just get a bunch of heat. I'm going to be right back, some water. I'll wait till it comes up till about 400, and then I'll let you guys all go and we'll do some periodic checks. No. Alright, so I'm right at 400. I'm going to open it just to make sure. Alright. Now, I'm going to bring this back initially to 250. And I'll come back probably in about 2 hours. I'm not really too concerned right now. I'm never going to overcook it, but I can at least get a baseline. Right now I got internal temp at 67 degrees, and we got a while to go, and I'm checking about 2 hours, so we're at 7, and then based off kind of where I'm at in the evening, what I want to do, I'll kind of manipulate it. But right now I brought up really hot, kind of smoke sear, if you will, the outside, and we will go from there. Alright, hey, this is Renaissanczyk. Thanks for checking me out. Please definitely follow, like, and subscribe. Enjoy the content and share. And that is it for now. Bye.